Hello, boxing fans around the world. Thanks for joining me once again as I discuss the news and the headlights. Corceres, my friends over at boxing247.com. Christian and I just finished a great conversation on the Fury Wilder fight, and I might refer you to that particular episode on talkinfight.com or on the YouTube channel, whatever channel you prefer to watch. Practically an hour-long discussion on the heavyweight division and possible outcomes given the upcoming year of fighting that will take place. Just to recap, again, the news leading off today's news, let me provide you with the story out of Boxing 247. Christian, all his workers over there. Look, there's a great story here. And an incredible back and forth that included 5 knockdowns and countless exchanges. Tyson Fury retained his WBC heavyweight world title and lineal crown with an 11th round TKO win over former longtime champion Deontay Wilder. The UK's Fury, who's now 31-0-1 with 22 knockouts, scored 3 knockdowns in all, the final 2 in the 11th frame, sending the raucous crowd of 15,820 into a frenzy. Quote, "Like the great John Wayne said, iron and steel, baby," said Fury. "I give God the glory for the victory. Wilder's a tough man. He took some big shots tonight, and I want to say that if it wasn't for Sugar Hill, America, and Detroit's own, I wouldn't have gotten through that fight tonight. He said, 'Get your jab working, big guy, and throw that right hand down the middle. That's how the big dogs do it.'" And Wilder had this to say, "I did my best, but it wasn't good enough. I'm not sure what happened. I know that in training he did certain things, and I also knew that he didn't come in at 277 pounds to be a ballet dancer. He came to lean on me, try to rough me up, and he succeeded." Fury got off to a hot start in the first round, landing quick 1-2s while Wilder worked the jab to the body. A hard right towards the end of the round punctuated it for Fury, as did another in the second. The action heated up in the third when a big Fury right sent Wilder tumbling to the canvas. The game slugger from Tuscaloosa, Alabama, rose to his feet, surviving the follow-up until the bell rang moments later. With Wilder 42-2-1 with 41 knockouts, there's only 2 losses coming courtesy of Fury. On unsteady legs in the fourth, Fury pounced, looked to finish him off, but just when it appeared that the fight was about to end, the Bronze Bomber uncorked a perfect right, followed by another, driving Fury to the mat. Fury made it to his feet, but was down again moments later when another Wilder flurry floored him. The bell rang seconds after he got up. Wilder started strong in the fifth, blasting Fury with more rights. The Gypsy King maintained his composure, digging to the body in close quarters. The inside work slowly wore Wilder down. He was dropped again in the 10th, and another Fury right, and then a third and final time in the 11th via a crunching right cross. Referee Russell Mora mercifully rescued the brave warrior, ending the fight at 1:10 of the round. Said Fury, "It was a great fight tonight, as good as any trilogy in history. October 9th, 2021 will go down in history. I hope. I always said it was the best in the world, and he was second best. Don't ever doubt me. When the chips are down, I will always deliver." Well, Tyson Fury delivered. He won. Another fight that was on that card that I enjoyed, one of our favorite fighters who we profiled on Knuckle Up, Jared Big Baby Anderson breaks down unbeaten Vladimir Tereshkin and won. It was a great fight. Young kid. Jared Big Baby Anderson, 21 years old, who's now 10-0 with 10 knockouts, continued his rapid rise up the heavyweight ranks, stopping veteran Vladimir Tereshkin, who's 22-1-1 with 12 knockouts at 2:51 of the second round. "I was a little anxious in the opening round," said Anderson. "My first pay-per-view card and all that, but I settled in and gave a great performance. I practiced what my coaches preached. On to the next one." Good for him. He's a good guy, and he will do well. Look for him in the future. Also on the card, we saw Victor Faust and Mike Marshall. Heavyweight upstart Victor Faust, who's now 8-0 with 6 knockouts, knocked down Mike Marshall, who's now 6-2-1 with 4 knockouts twice, and finished off the Connecticut native in the 3rd round. So congratulations to Victor Faust. On we go to the Utilita Arena in Birmingham, where we saw a host of BCB fighters in action on Saturday night at the Utilita Arena in Birmingham, writes Matt Farrington. Worcester's own Owen Cooper, Telford's Macaulay Owen, and Walsall's Brian Woolridge were all victorious, with Cooper and Owen getting their opponents out early with impressive stoppages. Towards the end of the card, 2 of BCB's brightest prospects, Liam Davies and Danny Ball, were in action on a Frank Warren show full of Midlands boxing talent. Danny Ball challenged British and Commonwealth welterweight champion Ikson. Ball looked like he was going to try to box and counter at the start of the fight, but as Essuman met him in the middle, a scrap ensued. Essuman looked compact, sharp, and powerful as he ripped into Ball's midsection early with the hooks and uppercuts. However, Ball rallied back with sharp counters and combinations. Both men were trading hard shots. A shootout from the start, it was unlikely that we'd hear the final bell. Ball went down in the 6th after a barrage of shots from Essuman, who had him cornered. Blood poured from Ball's mouth as the referee called off the fight. Essuman, the winner, retains his belts, but both men have gained the respect and admiration of many of the watching fans for their grit and fearlessness. Fantastic night over in Birmingham. Elsewhere around the world, Dominik Bussel defeats Robin Krasniqi, and more results from Magdeburg, Germany. Again on Saturday night, we had the IBO World Championship, WBA World Title Eliminator, light heavyweight 12-round fight between Robin Krasniqi, who weighed in at 79 kilograms, versus Dominik Bussel, who's 79-3. And basically, we saw Bussel the victor. In the German Championship heavyweight division, 10 rounds, we saw Peter Kaduri, who's 108 kilograms, go up against Boris Estefielder, winning over points 190, 98, 92, 99 to 91. For all the results from that fight, hop along to boxing247.com. Elsewhere, we saw, we did not see, we are about to see face-off between Echeverria and Conquest, Part 1. With less than a week to go before their fight in Galveston, Alabama, on Saturday, October 16th, we asked the same 5 questions to UBO World Lightweight Champion Noel Echeverria and challenger Jerome Conquest. This is Part 1 of a Q&A face-off, Echeverria versus Conquest. Question: one fighter originating from Puerto Rico, the other fighting out of Philadelphia. 2 iconic boxing locales. Who's your favorite Puerto Rican fighter of all time and your favorite Philadelphia fighter of all time? Answer: I personally don't have a favorite, but I love all Philadelphia fighters, past and present. We all have that grit and attitude, and we're never afraid of being great, like what I'm doing in October. It's Philly versus everybody. All right. If you could choose any profession, not boxing, or any other kind of athlete, what would it be? I haven't really put much thought into any of that other profession because I always like to work. Give me a boss's or corporate's workers pay, and I will be good. Favorite part of training and least favorite part of training. My favorite part of training is continuing to learn more about myself as a fighter and pushing myself. The least favorite part is what I can't eat what I want. Random and unprofessional question. Tyson Fury starring in the Titanic movie or Manny Pacquiao in the lead role of the Cats musical? What do you prefer? Neither. Haha. All right. Good change of pace from friends over at Boxing 247. Coming up also on October 16th, William Babyface Silva is going to battle Cletus, the Hebrew Hammer, Saldin. And I believe we featured both of those on Knuckle Up. William Babyface Silva will battle Cletus, the Hebrew Hammer, Saldin, for the NABA Super Lightweight title Saturday, October 16th at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. Originally from Brazil and currently residing in Florida, Silva has an excellent professional record of 28 wins with 3 defeats and 18 wins by knockout. The 30-year-old has faced the likes of undisputed lightweight champion Teofimo Lopez, top-rated Arnold Barbosa, and Felix Figueiredo. One of New York's most popular fighters, Saldin, will be fighting for the 22nd time in the Empire State. The Long Island native enters the ring with an excellent 25-1 record with 21 wins by stoppage. Notable fighters he's defeated include Zab Judah and Roberto Ortiz. A win by Saldin brings him closer to a world title shot, but Silva has other plans. Quote, "This is a great opportunity, and I'm going to make the most of it," Silva said from his training camp in St. Petersburg, Florida. Saldin is a good opponent, but I have the necessary skills to have my hands raised on October 16th. I also know a win in this fight would prove that I'm among the best fighters in my division and move me closer to my goal of winning a world title. William was actually scheduled to fight in the October... What the heck? I'm a little bit confused here. Oh, William Silva. William was actually scheduled to fight October 16th in Florida before this fight came together. It's almost as if it was meant to happen, and I know Silva has what it takes to pull this out. He's trained with Hall of Fame coach Jim McLaughlin, who's brought the best of him. Selden is in for a big surprise. And that was Silva's manager, Jody Calgier, out of Fire Fist Management. Edward Berlanga dropped and survived to narrowly point. Again, this is another great fight we saw out of the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas at the night of Fury and Wilder. Edgar Berlanga, great fighter. Rising super middleweight, Edgar Berlanga, who's now 18-0 with 16 knockouts, survived the first knockdown of his career to remain unbeaten, winning a 10-round unanimous decision over Marcelo Corceres, who's 33-1 with 16 knockouts. Berlanga controlled the first half of the bout, flashing his prodigious power, which ultimately closed Corceres' right eye shut. Corceres began opening up in the sixth, catching Berlanga with a stiff left hook. He continued to enjoy pockets of success despite being outgunned. Corceres' best moment came in the ninth when he countered a Berlanga left with a beautiful overhand right. Berlanga crashed to the canvas. The Brooklyn, New York product gamely rose to his feet, pressing the action until the final bell. Fantastic stuff. It was a great fight. Robeisy Ramirez picks up significant win over Orlando Gonzalez. Again, from that same card at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. Two-time Olympic gold medalist Robeisy El Tren Ramirez, who was 8-1 with 4 knockouts, picked up the most significant win of his young career, using his southpaw stance to befuddle the previously undefeated Orlando Capu Gonzalez, who's now 17-1 with 10 knockouts over 10 rounds in a featherweight contest. The scores were 99-91, 99-91, and 97-93. A good victory for Ramirez. We go to Vladimir Hernandez, who outworked former champ Julian J-Rock Williams. Again, another on the undercard of the Fury Wilder fight. Rugged southpaw Vladimir Hernandez, who's now 13-4 with 6 knockouts, registered the finest victory of his career, outworking former unified super welterweight world champion Julian J-Rock Williams, who's now 27-3-1 with 16 knockouts to win a 10-round split decision. Hernandez won on 2 cards by scores of 97-93 and 96-94, respectively, while the third card read 96-94 for Williams. Williams got off to a strong start, countering the aggressive Hernandez and well-timed counters and opening a cut over his right eye. Hernandez never stopped coming forward, utilizing a dedicated body attack to gradually wear Williams down. Good job for Vladimir Hernandez, and let's see what happens next time around. Good job. In the European welterweight, European welterweight champ David Avenacion signs with Queensberry. European welterweight champion David Avenacion has signed a multi-fight promotional deal with Queensberry. That's Frank Warren's company. New York-based Russian Avenacion has been sensational in European title defenses against Britain's best this year. The former WA world champion hammered Josh Kelly in 6 rounds in February, and last weekend took just 2 rounds to destroy mandatory challenger Liam Taylor. Avenacion, who's now 28, 3-1 with 16 knockouts, insists that he'll become a two-time world champion now that he's teamed up with Hall of Fame promoter Frank Warren. He's ranked highly by all four major governing bodies, and world champions Terence Crawford, Errol Spence, and Yordenis Ugas all are in his sights. Avenacion, who's 33 years old, said, "I'm very happy to be signing with Frank and very confident he will deliver me to the world title shot I need. I want to become a two-time world champion. This year has gone so well for me with two great wins, and there's momentum in my career again." So good luck to him as he moves forward with Frank Warren and his company. And an upcoming fight, Terence Crawford versus Sean Porter. We have some quotes. And I always like these quotes. I hope they're juicy. Here we go. Longtime WBO welterweight king and pound-for-pound star Terence Crawford finally has the super fight he craves. Enter Sean Porter, the two-time champion who's fought most of this generation's elite welterweights. Crawford and Porter will fight Saturday, November 20th at the Michelob Ultra Arena at Mandalay Bay in Las Vegas. The two met face-to-face Saturday for a kickoff press conference alongside their respective trainers and promoters. Terence Crawford had this to say: "We always have had a good relations ever since the amateur days. There's never been any bad blood. It's always been all love. But come November 20th, we step on him. It's put up or shut up. In my eyes, I can stand up and pull up my shirt and pull my shirt out, and I can really show this 8-pack I got because I stay working. That's nothing new to me, and it isn't anything new to you. You know what you're up against on November 20th. I know what I'm against on November 20th. We are going to give the fans a great night of boxing. It'll be fireworks from first bell to bell 12 if you last that long." Sean Porter replies, "When I get in the ring, I command the ring. When I get in the room, I command the room. I believe this fight is happening right on time. There's no secret. There's a lot of respect between me and Terence. We can talk about all the resumes, but when I look at his resume, nobody that has been in the ring with him knows him as I know him. The best of Terence Crawford will bring out the best of Sean Porter. What I do know is November 20th is a big day for boxing. It'll be a big day for Team Porter. I'm sure I'm on the brink of getting into the Hall of Fame. For me, it's not only win or go home. It's win or nothing else. My life right now is all about beating and dominating Crawford. My legacy will depend on beating Terence Crawford." And that, my friends, concludes this episode of the news and headlines fit the print, courtesy of our friends over at Boxing 247. Hope you enjoyed it. Please join me again tomorrow, same time, same channel, talkinfight.com. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. See you tomorrow.